Good morning. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jeff Price. And if you don't know me, you may recognize me as being one of the half a dozen people that sit way in the back behind the soundboard making these people sound good. And don't test me on that one. Don't test me on that one because I will, anyway. I do have other roles here at the church, and I'm actually up here today to provide an update with regards to what the stewardship team has been doing. It's another part of the ministry that I'm involved with is the stewardship team, and it's something that I'm really excited about, and I hope after this next 5 minutes that you will catch this excitement as well, because we've been doing a lot of great things just in the background, and we're about to break out, and we wanted to provide you a quick update. So when the board of directors asked us to provide this update, we sat down and said, what do we actually want to talk about? And the first thing that came up was, do people really know what we do? And the truth is, I think there is general confusion as to what stewardship does. So we thought that we would have a little quiz, see how everybody does. Don't worry, I'm not keeping score. You can keep score yourself. And see how you do. So let's go right to the first question. True or false?
True or false?
The stewardship team is the fundraising arm of the church. Can we bring up that question? There we go. Let's think about that. Okay, now that you've got your answer, the answer is false. I hope everybody got that correct. I doubt it, but the reality is, the stewardship team is focused on helping our community learn to manage God's resources in a biblical and God-honoring way. That's what our purpose is here at Wellington Square. Question 2, true or false? The stewardship team's only focus is on money. I heard it, false. We recognize that we manage our time, our talents, and our treasures, TT&T. We're using the terms time, spiritual gifts, and resources. There is one note to this, however. We recognize that of those three areas, it's quite often our money that has a very strong allure, and it can actually become, in a radical case, a god for some people. And as a result, yes, we do focus a little bit more of our effort on that area, but that's not exclusively what we work on. We're working on helping people to manage time, their spiritual gifts, and their resources in a God-honoring way. I hope you're doing better. Question 3, true or false? Everyone has a role to play in healthy stewardship.
True.
True. We're getting it. Good. As Christians, we acknowledge that God owns it all. We are responsible to be sound managers of everything God has given us. Okay, so now that we've established that we are not the fundraising branch, that we're here to help help us as a community manage our resources in a God-honoring fashion, whether they be the time, be our spiritual gifts, or our resources, what does that mean? So what have we actually been doing? And actually, I'm going to just take a quick little tangent because I'm saying I actually want to try and introduce us. A few of our team is here. There's myself. There's Tony Wilson, who's sitting right there. Brian Smith. Janelle Eade, who's sitting in the back. There's Ross Patterson, who goes to the 11 o'clock service. Our committee member, our chair, is Brian Weber. And of course, Jesus is on our team as well. So that is the people that are representing us as part of stewardship. And now, of course, that we have a adult faith coordinator, we hope that we'll be able to kick up some of the work that we're doing even more. So back a few months ago, so what have we been doing? A few months ago, the board of directors asked several teams throughout the church to answer some questions with regards to stewardship, or with regards to the vision of the church. And as we talked about that, the stewardship team really took that to heart and said, what does a successful stewardship look like in the future if we do our role correctly? So we actually created a stewardship vision statement that kind of defines what we believe this community will look like if we do our role successfully. So what we wrote is, we see a community freed from the shackles of debt, living lives of abundant generosity, serving through our time, our spiritual gifts, and our resources, growing in both numbers and the depth of the love of God and His people. I just want you to focus on that for a moment. Imagine, right now in our society, Canadians are dealing with record amounts of debt that for some people is overwhelming and really is destroying their lives. So we're saying we see this community as being a community in which nobody has to suffer that type of situation. And that out of that will come an amazing spirit of joy, a spirit of giving, abundant beyond anything that we could imagine. And through that we would have great community, people would be attracted to us, and they would come to find out about us and about the God that we love. And I hope that everybody else can kind of embrace that picture of what we are trying to do. So how are we going to make this happen? Well, this is kind of where the rubber hits the road and starts to get into some of the detaily work that we've been working on. And we're still working through a lot of this, so I'm only going to give you a small sampling of some of the work that we've been doing. If we can go to the next slide. Now, I don't expect that you would be able to see this. It wasn't designed to be put on PowerPoint, but I'm going to try and walk you through it. So this, earlier we talked about our time, our spiritual gifts, and our resources. This is a framework around the stewardship of our resources. So right at the top it says stewardship of our resources, and it says measures of control. On the left, it says your money controls you. On your right, it says you control your money. So the next section, the big body, is kind of characteristics of people that might fit into each of those sections. And then the bottom part is how we want to minister and teach to them. So as we develop curriculum, courses, or ways to interact with people, the things that we want to focus on. So we'll start on the left. It says a person where money controls them might be someone that has a negative net worth. They use a lot of the buy now, pay later that is available. They use money changers constantly. They may not have paid their taxes. They may have lots of credit or debit cards and may not have even paid their balances. They may have unopened bills in their drawers. They may have lots of stuff and toys, and they may buy on impulse. Those are some of the characteristics of people in which money controls them. And we say we want to come in and interact with them by teaching from two perspectives. A purposeful perspective being kind of the spiritual perspective, where we want to teach about contentment and being happy with what you have and where you are. And then we want to teach on a practical level with regards to budgeting and how to budget your money. Then we move through into the center. And we say at this point, some of the characteristics is that these people may have a small net worth. They may use some buy now, pay later. They might be constantly fighting financial fires. They don't feel like they're getting ahead. And they may give to charities, but they may do it out of a sense of obligation as opposed to a sense of joy. Again, just general characteristics. Not everyone may apply, but generally that's kind of where the person would fit in. And we say from a purposeful perspective, we want to teach on the joy of giving. And from a practical perspective, we want to teach on long-term planning, how to think ahead, how to work ahead. And then as we shift to the right, we see people who are in control of their money, that they have a growing net worth, they have no outstanding consumer debt, that they feel the joy of contentment, they love giving to charities, they plan their spending in advance. And they want to do more with what they have. And for those people, we want to work on the topic of extreme giving, right? How to give large amounts. And then we want to focus, kind of the practical teaching will be on estate planning, how to plan kind of in a bigger picture. So this is just kind of a general framework. And as we develop curriculum to go around all this, we will try and fit it in this and target it to different groups as the need kind of fits for that particular situation. This is where I want to give you a teaser of what's going to be coming up in the fall. So we are actually working on a partnership arrangement with a group called Christians Against Poverty Canada. They were founded in the UK in 1996 and have been in the UK, Australia, and New Zealand for quite some time. They are new to Canada. And basically their role is to advocate for those who are struggling with debt. We've had a really good opportunity to interact with them, learn more about them. They are brand new to Canada, and they've set their head office here in Hamilton. And they really do what they do two ways. The first is they develop what they call debt centers. And those are places where people that are overwhelmed with debt, whose lives are being ruined and crippled by loads of debt, where people can come in and be ministered to. And when I say ministered to, the Christians Against Poverty doesn't do anything unless it's through the local church, such as Wellington Square. So people would come in and they would be cared for, they would be loved, and then we would work on a plan to get them back on top and in control of their money. And we are right now talking to them about whether or not Wellington Square is a good fit for a debt center. We have not made that decision yet. But the other area that they're working on is on education, and they have what they call their CAP Money course. And this is definitely where we're going to interact with them right now. Three of us, Tony, Brian, and I, were at their training course back a couple weeks ago. The three of us have been certified as CAP Money coaches. And come the fall, we are going to be implementing the CAP Money course. And it's generally a 3-week course focused on the area of budgeting. So if you remember the last slide, on the far left-hand side, we said, you know what, we want to help people with budgeting. And that doesn't just focus with the people on the left. It could be anyone along that spectrum, anywhere, if that's an area that you feel you need help with. So it's a 3-week course. We anticipate that we're going to hold it several times over the fall because there are 3 of us that are trained in doing it, and because it doesn't take a lot of time or energy on our part to put it out there. Basically what I want to suggest to you in conclusion is if this is something that is of interest to you, if it's a course that you think you'd like to get involved with and like to learn about, come talk to any of the people on the stewardship team and ask us about it. Tell us when you can come, because we haven't set dates. So knowing when people will be available, whether it be a Tuesday or Wednesday or a Friday night or a Saturday morning, let us know, and we can start to work our schedule around when people will actually be able to come. And we hope to see lots of people there, whether you think that a course like this applies to you, or a friend of yours, or someone that you know at work who is struggling. We really anticipate the ability to be able to service lots of people through this course. And then finally, if you have any questions of the stewardship team, please, we are always willing to have healthy, God-honoring conversations about what we are trying to do and how our role plays in this community. So feel free to come up to myself, to Tony, to Brian, to Janelle, to anyone, and engage us in conversation about what we're doing. Maybe you want to join the team and you say, you know what, this is something I can get excited about. Let us know that as well. We're here to serve you, to serve God in this community. And this is just how we're starting to do this. A lot's going to flush in over the next little while, and we hope to give you an update come the fall as well. But please pray for our direction, and we'd love to hear from you. Thank you very much for your time.